I don't know how many more of these I can record today. So, let's just do however many we can. Maybe I'll just redo everything that was lost, and then I'll call it for today. I don't know. But I still have so many more I gotta record, too. So, let me break down the trip for you guys. Oh yeah, I probably should have mentioned when I had the Kirby costume on. You know how much I love Kirby. Unfortunately, though, it does not seem like when I go to Japan, I'll have time to go to that Kirby Cafe. I won't even have time to go to Super Nintendo World. Because I'll be going for 5 days. I'm going to be spending 5 days in Japan. Now, I realize, like, 5 days really ain't that much when it comes to being in Japan. At that point, it's like, why even bother going? In fact, 5 days is generous. In reality, it's more like 4 days I'll be in Japan. Because when I arrive in Japan, it'll be like, I don't know, maybe like 4:30 in the afternoon there. And then, you know, I gotta get my luggage, go to the Airbnb, settle down, get accustomed to my surroundings. You know, we're all still gonna be tired and jet lagged from the plane ride, so we're probably not gonna do any more exploring that day. You know, 4:30, we get to the Airbnb, it's gonna be nighttime. By that point, it's dinner time, and we all need to rest. So that's already one of our 5 days gone. So in reality, we only have 4 full days to really explore and enjoy Japan. Which really ain't nothing. You know, 4 days, why even bother at that point, right? See, that's only one part of the trip. Honestly, like, really 4 days in Japan, and then what I thought initially would be 9 days in Hong Kong. Now I know that 3 of those days will be in China, so scratch that. 6 days in Hong Kong and 3 days in China. You know, if I had it my way, first of all, if I had it completely my own way, I would spend no less than minimum 2 weeks in Japan, right? I would not go to Japan unless minimum I would be there for 2 weeks. That's just me. But because that's not the case this time, well, given what I'm working with, if it were up to me, then the schedule would be reversed. It would be 9 days in Japan and 5 days in Hong Kong. However, you know, it's not up to me. Mom wants to see Grandma. She wants to spend more time with Grandma, like spend as much time as she can. So, it makes sense. It sucks, but, you know, it makes sense. You have to keep in mind that it's not easy for my mom to see my grandma, because they are literally on the opposite ends of the planet. My mom's with us here in Canada. My mom's mom, so grandma, is in Hong Kong. So it's not easy for my mom to see her mom. And because grandma's old, she wants to spend as much time as she can with grandma. So, yeah, it sucks, but it is what it is. Mom wants to spend more time with grandma, so it is what it is. And you know, the biggest reason, the number one reason I'm even doing this trip is to see grandma. You know, like I said, like, I've wanted to go to Japan for a long time, but, you know, like, a decade of wanting to go just to amount to 4 days of being there, that's kind of disappointing. So, you know, going to Japan for a mere 4 days wasn't even a deciding factor for me. The deciding factor for me was going to Hong Kong to see Grandma. Because the last time I properly saw my grandma was like, I don't know, 8 to 9 years ago. When she came over here to visit. And, you know, she can't exactly travel that distance in her age anymore. And then the last time I briefly saw Grandma was when I went back to Hong Kong for a handful of days just to attend Grandpa's funeral. And I was only there for like 3 days. I went there for the funeral and I came back. So it really wasn't much of a trip. And I barely saw Grandma there. I don't really remember much of that trip. That quote-unquote trip. So it's been like almost a decade since I last properly saw my grandma. And who's to say it won't be another decade? It won't be another decade for me to properly see her again if I don't take this trip now. And who knows if my grandma will still be alive in the next decade. So, this might be my last chance to ever see my grandma again, so I just had to take it. So, that's the #1 reason why I'm going, to see Grandma before she dies and before I can never see her again. Yeah, that's the #1 reason, and you know what? That was a deciding factor that I would go. Just to see Grandma. Oh, I almost thought someone was knocking at my door. It scared me. And, you know, realistically, 4 days in Japan, that's not a lot. And like I said, I've wanted to go to Japan for a long time. And because this is I'm finally getting to go for a way too little time. You know, I would love to go again, but in my merit one day, my own terms one day. Minimum 2 weeks. Either I go alone, I go with a group of friends, or I go with a girlfriend. Not that I have one. And at my rate, probably will not have one. Not for a long time, at least. Don't know if I ever will. But yeah, I would love to have a girlfriend and go to Japan with her. I just love to travel, you know? I'd love to travel, see the world with that special someone, you know, that'd be great. Though, that's just not... I guess that life's just not meant for me. You know, there are places in the world I don't want to visit, I don't want to travel to. Places like India and Australia. No offense to you guys living in those places. I think India's self-explanatory. And then for Australia, it's like, well, I've seen all the things that Australia has online. No thank you. The big-ass spiders, the scorpions, all the other animals, and other things that could kill me. No thank you. It's just called survival for me to not go to Australia. Man, I've seen footage online of, like, beaches with washed-up jellyfishes. It's like, okay, nope. Big-ass spiders, no thank you. You know, venomous snakes? Oh, hell no, I'm out. Y'all can keep that. I don't think I ever need to visit Australia. But anyways, like, hopefully one day I do get to go to Japan again for a much longer stay. Alright, second place isn't bad. I'm still in first place overall. You know, my friends and I earlier this year were actually planning a Japan trip. I think we had narrowed it down to like maybe July, which would have been brutal given how hot Asia is in the summer. But yeah, we were planning for maybe July to go to Japan. However, I'm not going. You know, because my parents, they don't want me to go. Now, I am a grown-ass adult, but like, you can't really blame them. Japan's pretty far. If anything were to happen, I'd be on my own. And, you know, no matter how old you get, your parents are always going to worry. And, well, I'm not losing out on a whole lot anyways. Yes, it would have been pretty stupid to go to Japan twice in the same year. Both trips, actually, consisting of only 5 days proper. Because the trip my friends and I were planning, it would have been a week. However, 2 of those days would have been taken up by flights, you know? The plane flight to and from. So there would have been 2 days gone. So realistically, we would have only had 5 days to spend there. So it would have been pretty stupid to go to Japan 2 times in the same year, both trips being only 5 days, totaling a total of only 10 days in Japan the entire year. That honestly would have been pretty stupid. But why not just plan the trip for longer with you and your friends? Well, you have to remember, my friends and I, we all have different schedules. Some of them have work, some are still in school, so you know. Wow, you have to stop me right there, right in front of that? Some of my friends still have school, so they have midterms and whatnot. Some of my friends have work, so they need to see if they can take time off of work. So it's really hard to manage with all these schedules. So a week in July was the best that we could do. Or I should say the best that they could do, since I'm not going. I don't know, hopefully one day I get to go back to Japan for a bare minimum 2 weeks. Maybe with that special girl in my life. But at this point, that's just wishful thinking. Bruh! God damn it! Well, it's fine. I should still be in first place overall, right? Yes! I'm still recording, right? Yep. Alright, thanks for watching this one, you guys. Hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one.